Hello, welcome back to another video on the channel. It's been a while since I've done one of these. A lot of things have happened in regards to Sunderland. They signed Granit Xhaka, they signed Robin Roofs, they signed Mark Gui on loan, and now we have signed this morning Omar Alderdi, centre back from Getafe. So it's all come together quite nicely leading up to the beginning of the new season on Saturday. I'll do a proper West Ham preview probably Thursday or Friday. But today is just my predictions what's going to happen in the Premier League this year. I'm not going to do a full list of my league table because, to be honest, people who watch this don't really care about where I'm going to predict Crystal Palace finishing 12th or not. So I'll just go through my title winners, the top four, the bottom three, who I think will be top goal scorer. Then I'll just go on a little Sunderland preview of how I think we will do this season, where I think we'll finish, who I think will be the surprise package, and just a little chat about everything else. As you see, the transfer side of it, I think Sunderland's had a very good window. I said to a Leeds fan at work the other day, so far I would say out of the three newly promoted sides, I think we've had the best transfer window without being too biased. On Burnley, yes, they spent a lot of money, but they've also had to commit to a lot of loans that they had last year, which is like took a lot of money out of the cost there. Stuff out of the money that they've had available to use. Slipping over my words there, I couldn't think of them. And obviously, I don't get the whole Amanda Broja signing, to be honest. 25 million is a lot of money for a player who spent more time on the treatment table than he has actually playing and scoring in the Premier League. He could prove everybody wrong. I mean, he had quality previously. He was at Southampton, but I think that was 2021. He was at Southampton, and I think the only sign that I would have been happy with as a Sun supporter is Leslie Uchuogu, so the sign from Chelsea. I probably totally balls his name up there. I apologise if I have. He was one of the players that I thought Sunderland might go for, so I think he'd be a good signing for them. But obviously they've lost Trafford and they've lost Egan Riley as well, and you think their promotion was based on their defence really. They've lost that defensive spine, the goalkeeper and two centre-halves. They've lost 2/3 of it in Egan Riley and Trafford. Esteve's still there, so it's a good bonus for them. He signed a new contract. Probably just gives you a spoiler who I think will finish bottom of the league. In Leeds have done something similar to us, but on a little bit of a lesser scale. I think Anand Stack will be a very good signing for them. I do like Jack Piol as well. Surprised we didn't go in for him with the Serie A connections to Florent Casolfi. Obviously been out like playing for Udinese. But I think they might have done some clever business, and obviously Sunderland have spent more money. They've made more eye-catching deals, so to speak, like your Granit Xhaka, your Habib Diarras, and both Leeds Leeds are missing a couple of things, but I think they've had a decent window so far. But on the rest of the league, my league winners, I think Liverpool win the league. They've strengthened, and as reports have come out today, there's still more to come. Mark Gay's apparently in the book on the books to come in. They're just waiting for a great deal with Palace. Palace are holding the nerve for about 45 million quid with him on the year left, and then up if he just sees out his contract, which is strange when we live in a PSR world. But there you go. And obviously the whole thing with Alexander Isak, are they going to get Alexander Isak? Are they not? These tournaments say he refused to play for Newcastle ever again. So you imagine heads will prevail and common sense will prevail, and Newcastle will get who they want, and Isaac will be a Liverpool player by the end of the window. I have full confidence in that. And you see the way Ekatike played yesterday, it was him and Isaac's a frightening combination to have up front. Adding Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong's like you could argue, is he better suited to play in the Liverpool team than Trent Alexander-Arnold? Obviously, time will tell, but Frimpong looked good yesterday. And their surprise sign, I think, if Alisson gets an injury like I did last year, I think Mamardashvili that they got from Valencia would be a very, very top goalkeeper. I said this to the lads at work because we've got a few different supporters at work, different teams. I said we'll have a new generation of goalkeepers next year in the Premier League. I think this will be the last season. You'll see Alisson, this will be the last season. You'll see Edison, and you'll see obviously the likes of Trafford get Man City's number one, if he isn't already. And Mamardashvili take over the reins from Alisson. It's be one of them seasons this year. I think you'll see a lot of new things come in, and a lot of new faces arrive that'll take the Premier League by storm. It'll be the next revamp of the Premier League. Whether that be a manager or a player, I don't know. Filling out the rest of my top four, I've got Man City as second. They'll not be as bad as they were last year, not a chance. Pep will get them sorted out. They've obviously sold Walker, sold Grealish to Everton on loan. James McAtee's leaving. A couple of more could leave, and they've recruited really, really well as well. Getting Ryan Jerky for 35 million quid is an absolute steal, by the way. Obviously, we tried to get Megan Dwadzed from Lyon as well, the centre forward. When they were hanging over whether they were in going to get relegated League 2 in France, but obviously Turkey went before the appeal got successful, but I think he would have went anyway. Just if they were higher up in the league, he probably would have gone for more money. So 35 million quid for him is a very, very good deal. And another good signing is Rangers from AC Milan. I think he'll be a adequate Rodri replacement. Well, Rodri's apparently meant to be injured already, so I think he'll be an adequate replacement. I think Chelsea will finish third. I think they'll ride the wave of the Club World Cup, and obviously they've improved again as well. They've improved again as well, signing Liam Delap, signing João Pedro, and you can't argue Estavo as well. It'll be a very good signing for them. Signing Jarrell Hato from Ajax, even though Levi Caldwell has getting injured and they are contemplating going back in front of the centre half. They've recruited one. I think they'll ride that wave, and I think they'll finish third. I have Arsenal in fourth. Yes, every top team in the Premier League have improved their side. Especially Arsenal have now got the centre forward they've been missing in Victor Gyökeres, but will he cut the mustard in the Premier League? You don't know. He probably will. Obviously, Sunderland fans know him well from Coventry. Obviously, he tortured us every time he played against them and he ripped up the Championship. He has got a little bit of Premier League experience, but it's the reason why he got sold from Brighton for, because he wasn't quite up to mustard. But you cannot argue his record in Portugal at Sporting Lisbon. And could he provide that cutting edge to Arsenal? Maybe. But I think the three teams that I've mentioned will have a little bit too much for Arsenal. And you know what Arsenal are like. They have the Arsenal moments where they drop off. I think this season will be make or break for Arteta. If he comes out with another trophy this season, I think he'll be gone at the end of the season, to be honest. Don't think the Arsenal fans or the board will put up with it any longer. And they'll go from there. And I think that'll be your top four. You'll have Tottenham pushing them, because I think Thomas Frank will be an excellent appointment for them. More onto the team he left later on. You'll have the likes of them up the road, Newcastle, 6th or 7th, and you'll have Villa in there as well. And as much as Man United have improved the front line, I don't think they've improved the team enough to warrant qualifying for Europe. I think they might squeeze 8th, maybe 9th. I think the front three may win them games, but also you've got to be wary of the defensive side of it as well. They're the same defence and counting goalkeeper that they had last season, which didn't really do anything. So until they improve them, I don't think they stand any chance of qualifying for Europe, never mind the Champions League. We bottom three, obviously spoke earlier on, I've got Burnley at bottom. I think everybody else has got Burnley bottom. They could surprise a few people and everything like that, but Scott Parker hasn't got a great track record in the Premier League. He's normally very good at getting teams promoted from the Championship, but he normally has a very big budget to do so. And he normally has the better players in the Championship to get them promoted. Then when it gets to the Premier League, he shits his pants. And 9 times out of 10, he's sacked by the end of October. Will this happen here? I don't know, because he's meant to be very close to the Burnley owners. He might get the season out, which I think obviously Regis Labrie signed a new contract at Sunderland. He'll get the season out no matter what happens. And I'm not saying Sunderland's going to be walk the league. Like, shout out to Brad. He said Sunderland are going to finish 7th. I don't think we will. But I think if you give us 17th tomorrow, I think every Sunderland fan will snap your hands off at 17th, surviving by goal difference as long as we stay in the Premier League. I don't think anyone really gives a shit where we finish. But yeah, I've got Burnley finishing bottom. 19th, as I alluded to earlier on, I have Brentford. Yes, they have a recruitment model that has worked wonders for them over the last as long as they have done. Watkins leaving, Tony coming in, Maupay leaving, then Watkins coming in. But you take 39 goals out of a team, it's massive, no matter who you're playing against. And no matter what league you're in, sorry. And Then you take out the experience of Norgard. Yes, they've got Henderson, but is Henderson going to be up for it? It's a lot different going to a team from Brentford who have been admitted to a certified Premier League team than it would be going to a Sunderland who are a newly promoted team. There's a lot less expectation on you, where people don't expect Brentford to drop down into the bottom three, and nor should they for the way they've done. But I think they will. I think if you take out Thomas Frank, and not just Thomas Frank, his entire backroom staff, it's a total fresh change. And the manager choice that they have, they could fall flat in the face. I get it. The whole employ within mold model, I get it, and I admire it. But it's a massive risk when you're playing in the Premier League. It is a massive risk. It's like us sacking Regis Labrie and going reappointing Mike Dodds. It doesn't make sense. It didn't when we won the championship, but they did it. And it's just madness. It really is madness. And so I think they might struggle, and I think they might be one of the teams that gets sucked into the relegation fights. I think Sunderland and Leeds will stay up. I think Sunderland finish 16th and Leeds finish 17th, or swap round no matter where it goes. But I think them two teams will stop up. And the team that I've got finished in third bottom is West Ham. They struggled last season massively. I am not the greatest fan of Graham Potter. Biggest fan of Graham Potter. Sorry, slipping over my words in this video tonight. Jesus. I'm not the biggest fan of Graham Potter. He seems entitled a little bit. Like when he got sacked at Chelsea, he had plenty of opportunities to go to sides that arguably competing on better fronts than West Ham, no offence. But he chose not to. I think he held out for the England job, if I'm not holding anything back. I think he did. But he was never going to get it, and he struggled last year at West Ham, and they've lost Kudus to Tottenham, which is a massive loss. They could potentially lose Paquetá as well. And look, I know he loves West Ham and everything like that, and his father-in-law will hold him at gunpoint so he doesn't leave, but there's always a chance that Jared Bourne could leave. At the moment, they have two. Yes, they still have Bourne and Paquetá, but you never know what's going to happen. Losing Kudus and Potter and West Ham struggles, you never know. They could get sucked in. I think they will. You look at this now, experiment with the back three, which I'll get on to later on in the video. And two of the three centre-halves that they're going to play, they didn't want. In Naya Figuered, who was linked with Sunderland, and Tadibo, they didn't want to sign Tadibo permanently, but they had to. Then the one after that is Mavropanos, who they've been looking to get rid of as well. Improvement-wise, I think Malik Diouf would be a good signing at left wing-back. And obviously, the Kyle Walker-Peters would be a good squad option. But if you're looking at centre-forward, he was unlucky with injuries last year, but Nicholas Fulkirk is hitting 32, 33, and he's back up to 35, Croc Callum Wilson. So will they have enough? I've said all this and they'll go and batter Sunderland on Saturday and I'll look like a right idiot, but that's just my opinion. I think West Ham might get sucked in. Another team who could get sucked in would be Fulham, because they haven't improved their team. They might be losing Rodrigo Muniz. There's links to him in the Premier League and abroad. I think you'll see 2 or 3 teams get really sucked into that relegation fight this year. Like teams who have been mid-table, stable Premier League clubs. I think you'll see 3 or 4 of them get sucked in, which will benefit the likes of your Leeds, your Sunderland and your Burnleys. And I think Leeds and Sunderland have a little bit more than what Burnley have. That would potentially keep them up. And like Bournemouth as well, they've more or less lost the entire back 5 really. The only one they've still got is the right back. Yes, they're going to make a good signing, Bafode, Diakite. But losing Kepa, Kirkez, Zabrani, Shuisen, very, very important players to what they achieved last year. And again, all it takes is a team in Spain or a team abroad to lose their manager, and they'll be sniffing all over Areola from Bournemouth, and you see you lose your manager, you never know what happens. So that's the main points that I'm making. My league winners, my top 4, my bottom 3, my top goal scorer. I think he'll be up there again. I think he'll win it. I think it'll be Erling Haaland. We'll see if City be better, which arguably will mean he'll be better. And you'd be a good fight in his hands with like your Salahs, your Isaacs. Maybe even your João Pedro's could have get in there, because Chelsea create a lot of chances. And obviously last year Nicholas Jackson couldn't put them away, but João Pedro potentially could. I mean, from what I read, he hasn't stopped scoring in pre-season for Chelsea since he signed for them. On to Sunderland. As I said, I think Sunderland finished 16th. I've been very, very impressed with what I've done the transfer market, and we're not done there. You think your team arguably for the weekend would be Roos in goal, Hume, Ballard. I think Alderti will get chucked in, to be honest. I think Sale will go out on loan, which basically means, and this isn't anything that I know, it's just total guesswork. You'll probably see another, I wouldn't be surprised if another centre-half comes in before the weekend to allow Jensen Sale to go so he can play at the weekend for his team. Ronaldo at left back, I mean, that back four there, you've got Trey Hume and Dan Ballard, who have been linked to Premier League clubs. Previously, you got Robin Roos, who was linked to Lille before he signed for Sunderland and is very highly rated. Alderete in the top three centre-halves in La Liga last year based on stats of clearances and passing and defending. So he comes with a good pedigree. He's also played for Valencia as well. Ronaldo, he does need to introduce. He's played Champions League football with AC Milan. Then your midfield, I think our midfield is the strongest that it's been in a very, very long time. It blows the other bottom three teams out the window, in my opinion. In Xhaka, Diarra, Siddiqui, then you're looking like after that, Lafay, Rig, Neil. So you got good strength and depth in that midfield department, which would be massive, especially considering two of the three starters like looking at the weekend disappear in December, as everyone keeps pointing out. So yeah, and you look at left back as well, Arthur Masuaku, forgot to mention him. He signed for Sunderland on Sunday. He got in the Turkish team this season last year, Premier League experience. The squad's finding a really good balance. Do I think we need a little bit more? Yes. Simon Dingle, I think, playing regularly. Like, he didn't do much of Brighton. He made the odd sub appearance, got the odd few starts, but playing consistently. And you look at him, he's really the main man in that front three. He's the person you got to look to create your moments, create your chances, really. Because Talby's very raw. My end is very raw. Obviously, he hasn't had a really good pre-season. He hasn't scored. What will Dewey be like, the centre forward from Chelsea? Very, very highly rated. Will he come in and score goals? I think it'd be Magenda who's starting on Saturday. And you never look last season when we signed Wilson, everyone thought we're looking for a striker. Magenda will get replaced come when the striker signed. And the only reason he lost his place in the team was because of injury, because he hit the ground running straight away. He started scoring goals straight away, creating goals straight away. And you look at West Ham's back three on Saturday, it's not the quickest. And I think once Mayenda gets the ball and starts driving at him, because the intensity will be higher on Saturday, you know it's going to be higher on Saturday, though it has been in pre-season. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mayenda bags, and you know what Mayenda's like. He gets one positive moment and he goes and flies and he goes on a right run. So you never know. My actual surprise package this season, I think Chemson Talby will be our surprise package this season. He has shown glimpses of what he can do. He comes very, very highly rated. A lot of high-rated teams wanted him. And he's coming to Sunderland, obviously, to play. It looks like he's going to play every week because he's starting most of the first team's games in pre-season. Well, Pat Roberts has been a big part player, really. And I think once he hits October, I think he'll explode onto the scene, really. I think he really will. Because he's quick, he's agile. He's very intelligent footballer if you watch little glimpses of what he can do on the pitch. I think once he finds his feet, he'll be flying, the lad will be flying. And I think he will be our surprise package. I think he will this season. A lot of people, I'm not saying writing him off, because that'd be harsh. He's only played a few pre-season games. But I think he'll surprise a few people this year, Chemson Talby. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there, contributes well, and next summer, if we're still a Premier League team, he'll be linked with moves away. So yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy the Premier League. Still feels strange to see that we are a Premier League team, but we are. And we're going to go out there and give it our best. Get behind the lads no matter what happens, whether if we stay up, we get relegated. Just get behind the lads. Enjoy the game at the weekend. For everybody, how are the lads?